Hello and welcome to my first episode of Train Simulator World 2 covering Bakerloo Line. If this video is helpful to you, please hit the like button and subscribe to be notified of more content as it gets published.
Welcome to your first day on the Bakerloo Line of the London Underground. Here you will be taken through a brief introduction on operating the 1972 tube stock that operate on this line. During this session, you'll be taken through the startup procedure, critical driving controls, and passenger operations at several stations. Head over to the indicated train and climb aboard to get started. Take a seat in the driver's position. This is where you'll be spending most of your time. The control switch activates the train for operation. The direction selector determines the direction of travel. This train features a combined power brake handle. Set this as indicated to begin the startup procedure. Set the brakes as indicated. The train is now ready to depart. Set the direction selector and apply power to begin moving. Coasting is a method used to efficiently maintain speed and reduce component stress and maintenance requirements. Apply a small amount of brake force to achieve a comfortable and safe stop.
I'm just taking a moment here to get the camera set up for later. The keyboard overlay on the right of the screen will help you to follow along as I perform actions. On the ground, as you come up to stations, are multiple colored squares. Generally, I use the last two squares to judge how much brakes I should use. I try to hit those squares at around 20 miles per hour, but the start of this tutorial won't allow me to get up to that speed, so I have to eyeball this one a bit.
Take a quick glance of the platform to ensure all is safe before unlocking the doors.
Here I used the camera view I set up earlier to watch as passengers board. It isn't really necessary, but I think it makes for a more dynamic video rather than just watching from the cab.
Ticket checks are in operation at this station. Please have your tickets ready for inspection.
It's time to get going. Set the doors to locked.
You can't see it right now because I have the cursor turned off in video capture, but I'm hitting tab and then using my mouse to mouse over the appropriate buttons.
The train is now ready to depart. Set the direction selector and apply power to begin moving. The next station on the line is Kilburn Park, where we will perform a passenger stop. Apply a small amount of brake force to achieve a comfortable and safe stop.
It's right about here where I want to start slowing down to that 20-mile-an-hour speed before I get to those last two squares. If you're not slowing down fast enough, you can push the brake up to 7, which is the emergency brake. That'll slow you down a lot quicker.
Take a quick glance of the platform to ensure all is safe before unlocking the doors.
Again, this camera angle isn't absolutely necessary, but it gives you something more to look at than just staring out the front of the cab. Another item worth noting is if you did use your emergency brake, your brake pressure will go down to about 0. So if you reset it to about 2, it should start to build back up again.
It's time to get going. Set the doors to locked. Proceed to the next stop at Maida Vale unguided this time and see how you get on.
Again, you want to start slowing down to about 20 miles per hour. This time I slowed down a little bit too much, so I let off the brake and try to get as close as you can to that end point there so you can get the maximum 500 points for the stop.
Good work. That concludes all of the basics of operating this train.
Alright, that wraps up this video. I'll be creating an episode on each mission within each chapter, a tutorial on the locomotives for each line, and an episode to cover each service that is not contained in the chapters in the future, so be on the lookout for those.